Today, we're going to share a story in clear, easy English. We will be working at level B2, intermediate. Turn on the subtitles to see the translation in your own language. Daniel and Maria were both 29 years old when they made one of the biggest decisions of their lives. They had grown up in Mexico and had strong connections to their families, their neighborhoods, and their culture. But as they reached their late 20s, they began to feel a growing desire for change. Daniel had been working as an orthodontist for several years and loved helping people feel confident about their smiles. Maria had been a heavy truck mechanic for 6 demanding years. She enjoyed her work, but felt that her body could not continue with this tough career for 30 more years. After many long conversations, they both agreed that moving to the United States might give them a new start. They wanted more opportunities for their careers and a chance to build a future that felt stable and exciting. They also liked the idea of living in a place where they could grow, learn new things, and challenge themselves in positive ways. They began researching cities in the United States. After weeks of reading and talking to friends, they chose Trenton in New Jersey. Daniel already knew an old friend from Mexico who lived near Trenton. This friend was also an orthodontist and had once spoken about starting a business together. Maria liked that the area was close to many job opportunities and had schools where she could continue her education. It seemed like the perfect place to start over. When they finally arrived in Trenton, their emotions were mixed. They felt nervous because the city was unfamiliar, and English was still difficult for them, but they also felt excited because the streets were full of new possibilities. The first week they walked through the city every day trying to learn the bus system, discover the grocery stores, and understand how things worked in their new home. Daniel knew that becoming an orthodontist in the United States would require many documents and approvals, but he was ready for the challenge. He contacted his old friend, and together they began looking for a small building where they could open their own orthodontic clinic. Some buildings were too old, some were too expensive, some needed too much repair work, but they kept searching with confidence. Daniel dreamed of the day when the clinic would open and he could meet his first patient in the United States. Maria focused on building her new career path. She had always admired nurses and respected the important work they did. She wanted a job that allowed her to help people but did not require the physical strain of heavy mechanical work. She enrolled in the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program at Chamberlain University. At first, she was nervous because she had not been in school for many years, but she soon discovered that she enjoyed her classes. She studied biology, anatomy, chemistry, and patient care. After only 9 months, she felt proud of the progress she had made. Even though she was studying full-time, she still worked part-time as a mechanic. She needed the income to pay for school and living costs. Some days were exhausting because she would work early in the morning, repair a truck or two, then go home, change clothes, and hurry to her nursing classes. But Maria stayed motivated because she knew that every hour of study brought her closer to her future career. On weekends, Daniel and Maria liked to explore their new surroundings. One Saturday, a friend invited them on a short boating trip along the Delaware River. Daniel and Maria had never spent much time on boats. They expected to feel nervous, but the moment the boat began moving, they both felt something different. The fresh air felt relaxing, and the sound of the water made them feel peaceful. They laughed, talked with friends, and watched the sunset reflect across the river. After that first trip, they were hooked. Within a few months, they saved enough money to buy a small used powerboat. They were very proud of it, even though it was not new or fancy. They named the boat Nueva Vida, which means new life in Spanish. It became their symbol of starting over in a new country. Almost every month, they took the boat to the river twice. They loved powering south toward Bordentown Beach, where their friends often gathered. They played music, shared snacks, and sometimes spent the whole day on the water. On hot summer evenings, They would drop anchor near the shore, watch the stars appear, and talk about their dreams. Some nights were so beautiful that they chose to sleep on the boat instead of going home. Other nights, they stayed at a friend's house where a spare bedroom was always available. Daniel and Maria also built new routines in Trenton. They liked walking around the city center and exploring small shops. Their favorite place to eat quickly became Trentini's, a warm and cozy Italian restaurant. Daniel loved the chicken dishes, while Maria ordered pasta almost every time. They joked that the staff knew their order before they even sat down. One weekend, they went to a Trenton Thunder baseball game. They were still learning the rules of baseball, but they loved the energy of the crowd. They cheered, ate popcorn, and laughed each time the mascot passed by. After the game, they walked slowly to Trentini's, enjoying the warm air of the evening. During dinner that night, Maria felt unusually nervous. She kept looking at Daniel and then looking away. Finally, she reached into her bag, pulled out a small ring box, and placed it on the table. Daniel stared at it confused. Then Maria took a deep breath and said, "Daniel, will you marry me?" Daniel was shocked. He had imagined that he would be the one to ask her. But he felt so happy that he could barely speak. After a moment, he smiled and said, "Yes, of course, yes." The staff in the restaurant clapped and congratulated them. Later that night, their friends celebrated with them, sharing stories, food, and laughter. Today, Daniel and Maria feel proud of how far they have come. They left their home country, learned to live in a new city, and worked hard every single day to build their future. Daniel is close to opening his orthodontic clinic with his trusted friend. Maria continues to study nursing and dreams of working in a hospital where she can care for patients and make a difference. They still love boating on the weekends. They still go to Trinity's after baseball games. And they still talk about their goals for the future. They both agree that moving to the United States was one of the best choices they ever made. They know life will bring challenges, but they face every challenge together with hope and determination. Their story is a reminder that starting over can be scary, but it can also be beautiful. Daniel and Maria built a new life with hard work, courage, and love, and their adventure is only just beginning.
I hope you enjoyed this story. Please hit like, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. Until next time, take care and learn something new every day.